Cats, Mean Girls, Dear Evan Hansen, Wonka, The Prom. Recent movie musicals tend to suck, and when they suck, oh do they suck hard. But what in the McHeckles happened? Because we used to have good movie musicals, like Chicago, or Sound of Music, or Singin' in the Rain. So how has walking out of the new Mean Girls musical become a TikTok trend? I mean, there's a lot of reasons people give for not liking movie musicals. Being too much like the stage version, casting actors for attention over talent. A big one I've seen is that when you add songs to an already hard-to-believe plot, it just becomes too unrealistic to enjoy. I was actually halfway through making a video on how the lack of realism is the reason that movie musicals keep failing when I realized that's not it at all. To say that Avengers Infinity War is more realistic than Mean Girls would be insane, whether Regina George breaks into song or not. The problem with movie musicals is that somewhere between the stage version and the movie, they lose their heart. They keep going for flair over the genuine, raw emotion that their stage counterparts captured so perfectly. I mean, what made Infinity War so successful is that we cared about the characters who were at stake. Which, by the way, is something the MCU is now struggling with themselves, and I made a video about recently, so link in the description for that. But back to musicals. Take Dear Evan Hansen, for example. The stage version is literally heartbreaking. Unlike the movie, it opens with the song Anybody Have a Map, sung by Evan and Connor's moms. They talk about how much they're struggling to hold their families together and how worried they are for their sons. How every time they try to help them, they just pull further and further away, and they feel like they're losing them. Then, when Connor unalives himself, his parents blame themselves. Of course, it wasn't their fault, but they just keep thinking of all the things they could have done better, trapped in a never-ending cyclone of guilt. And then they find Evan. For the first time, they think that maybe, just maybe, they weren't the reason that their son didn't want to live anymore. That maybe he was happy. And while Evan is suffocating under these lies he's telling, he knows that if he tells Connor's parents, he'll be crushing them all over again. That it'll be like their son died all over again. And it's not just that, but for the first time, Evan feels like he has a solid ground to stand on. When he's with Connor's family, the overwhelming weight of his anxiety, of his depression are lifted. For the first time in his life, he feels loved and safe. Meanwhile, Evan's mom has no clue what's going on, and she feels her son slipping through her fingers more and more each day. Dear Evan Hansen is meant to be a gut-wrenching musical, and when they adapted it to a movie, they took no care in preserving the sadness and the hope that that musical contained. Instead, they took out Anybody Have a Map, which lays the groundwork for the show. They cast a 28-year-old Ben Platt as Evan, making it impossible to sympathize with the character because he looks like a pervert that snuck into a high school, and they tried to make it trendy. Any emotional impact that stage musical had was ripped from it the minute that movie was released. And it's the same exact case for movie musicals like In the Heights, which took out the vast majority of scenes with Abuela Claudia and rendered her death nearly meaningless. Or Mean Girls, which took out the song showing how Regina's mom felt like her daughter was slipping through her fingers. Which may sound silly now, but you listen to that song and tell me it doesn't make you want to call your mom. The few movie musicals in recent memory that have succeeded are ones like La La Land, which told the story of two struggling artists who can't help but break each other's heart. Or Tick Tick Boom, a tragic story about a man chasing his dreams while losing everything and everyone to do it. I've always believed that what gives a story worth is whether you care about the characters. The ultimate test should be, if I kill blank, will the audience feel something? And I doubt that The Prom, or Mean Girls, or the Forsaken movie that is Cats would ever pass that test. So if you really want to know how to fix movie musicals, bring back the heart. Okay, I did not realize I had that many opinions about Dear Evan Hansen until I started making this video. But I'm just a clown. What do you think? Why do movie musicals suck so much nowadays? Or do you think I'm completely wrong and they're still all great? Whatever it is, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time.